So now we're talking about the difference with Young Living and how we do our oils, our essential oils. So in the US, there's no rating system for essential oils. The closest we get is an FDA requirement that in order for an essential oil to be labeled pure, it has to have at least 5% of essential oil, which that doesn't sound very pure to me anyway. Um, I don't know. I guess 5%. If I'm getting something pure, I want it to be pure. Um, all essential oils fall into one of four categories, and that's grade A, B, C, and D. Grade A is going to be your top. That's your what we would call your therapeutic grade. It's made from organically grown plants, and they're distilled at low temperatures. So that's what's easiest for the plant, and what is like, it's it gets real sciencey, and I'm not a sciencey person, so like me trying to explain it is like I'm not very good at that kind of thing. But part of like the Seed to Seal microsite that I shared earlier, that talks about like the benefits of low distillation temperatures. Grade B is going to be your food grade, but the problem with the food grade is that it can contain synthetics, pesticides, fertilizers, chemical extenders, or carrier oils. So that's where you're getting a little bit, you're stepping below that purity line. Grade C, they're perfume oils, and they're often containing adulterating chemicals. That's when they use solvents like hexane to gain a higher yield of oil per harvest. And I don't know if you guys have done any kind of research on cancer. Well, I mean, it falls under that. But if you've done any research on chemicals on your own, like I have, like solvents can be cancerous, and they're in many store-bought oils. They can also be diluted 80% to 90% with alcohol. I was in Walmart the other day, which is like just kind of my go-to store for having a bunch of kids. I was in Walmart and I found a essential oils aromatherapy kit. So I looked at it and I looked at the back, and like big warning label, and it said it's highly flammable. So that right there is a red flag. Like your oil shouldn't be flammable. So that's where you know it's one of those that's like diluted highly with alcohol. Grade D is called floral water, and that's aromatic only, and it's usually a byproduct of the grade A distillation. So that's like after all the oil's pulled out, the leftover trash water is sold to companies who will fill 5% of their bottle with this and then fill the rest with carriers, and that's where they're labeling it pure. That's just that's how some companies do things, and I mean, there's a place for them. If they're making perfume and things like that, that's fine. But I just, as a mom, I want to know what's going in and on my children's bodies, and even in my body. Like I want to know what's going on. Gary and Mary Young are the founders of Young Living. They started this company on their own, their own distillation farm and all of that. And they made the promise to make oils for a purpose, not a profit. So they're not skimming and cutting corners just to make more money. That's why we had the Seed to Seal guarantee. All of our plants are hand weeded. There's no pesticides, chemicals, or weed killers used. So if you're looking at footage of the farms, that's why you're going to find weeds in with the lavender and stuff like that, because we don't use those kinds of chemicals to get like a higher crop yield. The oils are then rigorously tested for purity to ensure that what you're getting in your bottles is pure. So that's part of why I really like and enjoy using Young Living, because I know what I'm getting, and I know that they're honest, and that's how they're running their company. So that's a little bit on Young Living and how they do things. So next one up is why oils are cheaper somewhere else.